Hi Ahmed, thank you for joining me today for the conversation. There are a couple of questions that have been on my mind and on the minds of our customers that I wanted to talk to you about. So the first being, recently we had a survey of about 1,000 European customers, and here we've identified two main challenges that our customers expect in 2026. And those are rising geopolitical tensions, and the second being increasing transportation costs. How do you see this, and what do you expect in 2026?
So I think it would be prudent to expect a continuation of geopolitical events driving disruptions in the supply chains in the market. That is a clear trend that we've seen in the last few years, and we fully expect that to continue into 2026. And here we talk about whether it's a tariff or whether it's another type of geopolitical disruption like the Red Sea impacted us 2 years ago, or certain assets being banned from entering certain territorial waters, or whatever it might be. There's quite a lot out there in that landscape. And with that, we've also seen quite large shifts in trade patterns, which have been very pronounced in the last 12 to 18 months, which in itself causes a disruption. It takes quite a bit of work and effort and time to rejig our supply chains, and therefore when there are big shifts like this that are triggered by geopolitical events, it then has a knock-on and spillover impact into also the replanning and the rejigging of the supply chain network. So really for 2026, the name of the game is to be flexible, agile, and then indeed have strong resilience plans in place to be able to deal with all of these shocks in the system.
So Ahmed, you mentioned the continuation of disruption. So if we are expecting this indeed to happen, how are we working with our customers to make their supply chains more resilient?
So even though I'm in operations, which normally means I'm in the kitchen most of the time, I've been exposed more and more to customers over the last 2 years, and I've seen a growing interest in this agenda. They really want to hear from us. What are our plans? What are our resilience plans? And of course, at Maersk, we invest heavily in business resilience. It's a very important area for us. And I think when we think about disruptions, disruptions being here to stay, I think of it on 3 levels, and I want to take the ocean network as an example of that. So our first layer of resilience on the ocean network example that I'm making is to make sure that we've built enough slack in the system to be able to deal with what you can call normal variation. So waiting time in a port, or how long the ships will stay alongside. These things are never exact, they're never 100% consistent. There's normally pluses and minuses there, and the first layer of resilience is to build that into the plans up front. The second layer of resilience is then for those issues that fall outside of those tolerances that we build if-then scenarios. So these are oven-ready scenarios that we can pull out of the drawer once we see a situation like a strike or a particular bad weather event or whatever it may be. Using my ocean network example, we have these pre-made, pre-cooked plans that we can pull out of the drawer and then apply straight away to the situation. Of course, keep customers informed for that. The third layer of resilience that I think about with this is for those events that are much more large scale, sort of almost black swan events that can't really be scripted, very broad, very complex. Those you cannot really create a pre-made plan. So I'm thinking here of a large scale cyber attack, or indeed the Red Sea crisis when it happened. There, it is really all about having collaboration frameworks that are in place and ready to tackle the situation. We have, for example, a crisis team in Maersk that mobilizes very quickly when we have these types of events. These are folks covering all of the different key functions that we have: operations, commercial, communications, legal, etc. And it's a group that mobilizes, as I said, very, very quickly, assess the situation, think of the different scenarios that are required to resolve it, make decisions, and then, of course, communicate to customers in the end. So those are examples of the 3 layers that I talked about for our resilience planning. It's a very, very big topic for us. There's many, many more avenues and other examples we can talk about, but that's at least a small example of how we think about it.